When you are with a malignant narcissistic parent, you know the kind of monster you are dealing with because they are outright abusive physically, emotionally, or otherwise. But when you are with a covert narcissistic parent, you are confused, to say at least. You struggle to understand whether it is you or them because the abuse is hidden under the multiple layers of absolute love bombing, vulnerability, superficial kindness, and other positive qualities alike. It takes you a long time to see through the facade. In this episode, you will truly understand why that is the case. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. In this episode, I will talk about 5 undeniable signs that your parent is a covert, aka a vulnerable narcissist. If this is what you would love to learn about, please subscribe and push the bell icon to stay updated. Let's get started. Number 1. They seem to be extremely loving in the beginning but change later. Covert narcissists can be great parents when their kids are young, but once they become adults, the narcissistic parent shows their dark and abusive side because they are no longer the primary person in their kid's life. In the beginning, the narcissistic parent showers you and treats you with what seems to be their unconditional love, but as you grow, their behavior changes. They start turning cold and neglectful, or in other words, their true nature becomes more visible. Why, you may ask? Because you no longer remain the kid who calls for them, seeks their presence, or makes them the center of their universe. You start individuating and they start abusing. The more you discover your likes and dislikes and explore your personality and the world around you, the stronger they try to pull you in. You are becoming an adult trying to separate from the parent who does not want that to happen because letting that happen would mean the ultimate loss of supply. So to control you, the covert narcissistic parent starts subtly abusing you through fear of abandonment, inducing a sense of obligation and guilt by revising the history, which we will learn more about later in this episode. They covertly hijack your growth and keep you infantilized for their selfish needs. The moment you start questioning their authority, their vulnerable ego gets hurt. They become overt in the expression of their narcissism, and the veil is lifted, revealing a venomous being who has no regard or respect for you. Number 2. Most people see them differently than how you see them. Often people around you say that you're very lucky to have a mom or a dad like that because they see a different side of the narcissist than what you experience in private. Your narcissistic parent projects the image of a kind, caring, sacrificing parent who puts their family above anything else. This confuses you deeply and creates cognitive and emotional dissonance, which is fueled by your parents' constant shaming and guilt tripping. Talking more about this, they shame and make you feel obligated by revising history and reminding you that they sacrificed their entire life for you and did things that no other parents usually do. They make you feel obligated to do what you are told and give them what they demand without any resistance. Consequently, whenever they abuse you, you start blaming yourself because of their conditioning that they are loving parents who can never be wrong and that something must be wrong with you for feeling this way. This is how your primary trauma bond is formed and created through your parents' hot and cold behavior, and this is how you learn to self-gaslight. A little side note on trauma bonding. I am doing a 3-hour workshop on breaking the trauma bond in 5 practical steps. It happens twice, first on 26th November and then on 3rd December at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The slots are open for booking. For more information, click the link here. Number 3. They say a lot of nice stuff but mean none, which becomes evident through their actions. Your covert narcissistic parent may say everything that feels good to hear or mimic the love language, but there is no depth to any of it. They may do great lip service by saying things like they can't live without you or they miss you terribly when you are not with them. But all of that sounds shallow once you start seeing the truth. The truth that they have abandoned you since the beginning, but you didn't realize that until now. The truth that they never truly loved you but loved the attention that you gave them, how you met their emotional needs and made them feel special and less insecure. They never meant or felt the nice things they have ever said to you. They said whatever they knew would keep you under their spell and make them appear caring and considerate. Touching upon my personal story a little bit, it took me 23 years to realize that my mother was also covertly narcissistic, with my father being a malignant narcissist. It took me decades to realize that she was fake in her expression of what I thought was her true love. It takes a long time to wake up from the paralysis that parental covert narcissistic abuse puts you in, an eternity to realize that your childhood was nothing but a lie. Number 4, they create extreme dependence and never let you have any choice. They make you depend on them even for small things like selecting and buying clothes or making simple life decisions. They get over involved in your life on purpose so you can't even imagine living without them. They decide everything for you and you may think they are caring, but subtly they are preventing your identity from developing. They program you to believe that you are severely incompetent in getting your things done and you do not know as much as the mommy dearest. As in the case of every narcissist, everything you do has to go through them and they have to have absolute control, but under the disguise of it's for your own good. They want you to be this baby in an adult's body who seeks them for every single thing that needs to be done and for every decision that needs to be made. They program you to have no agency of your own and depend on them to decide for you. Number 5 and the last one. They're condescending and critical, but very covertly. Their love is always conditional and transactional, and you have to earn it by being their perfect extension and meeting every standard they have set for you. They idealize you only to devalue you later through under-the-surface criticism, latent bullying, backhanded compliments, and passive aggression. You dress differently than what they chose for you, and they give you the silent treatment or say something like, "Yeah, it looks good," in a condescending tone. Their weird looks, shifts in tonality and body language tell you a lot about how they actually feel about you. As a result, you do everything to please them and keep them contented and satisfied, which shapes your personality to become a people pleaser later in life. They may not hit you, but they punish you through severe emotional neglect and abandonment whenever you piss them off. They withdraw and withhold affection if you do not comply. Their punishment is more destructive because you get wounded and injured, but there are no physical injuries to be seen. The injuries lie deep in your soul that you find no words or ways to talk about, to express, until you separate yourself from them completely. That was it for today's episode. Before you leave, I'm really curious to know which one of these signs did you resonate with the most? Let me know in the comments, drop a like, share this video, and make sure to subscribe. I'll talk with you in the next one. Till then, let the healing begin.